So, California recently legalized marijuana under Proposition 64, and that gives the state the ability to sell the plant recreationally. And it also does something amazing, which is gets rid of any low level possession charge and expunges it from your record. Well, that hasn't been happening yet because you have to petition the state to do so. And San Francisco wasn't having any of that. So I love this story. San Francisco expunges thousands of pot convictions. So on Wednesday, San Francisco decided they were going to wipe out all marijuana convictions back to 1975. These will be retroactive, and it's going to address nearly 5,000 felony cases and about 3,000 misdemeanor cases. Now, you actually have to go and apply if you have a felony to petition this, and if you have a misdemeanor, that's automatically going to get dropped from your record. And this is huge for a number of reasons. For one, it helps people who have gotten arrested and have that arrest on their background. It's going to help them get a job. It's going to help them be a better person for this community and society. But in addition to that, it's just the right thing to do. You don't lock people up for nonviolent, victimless crimes. That includes prostitution, smoking weed, smoking meth. I don't care. If you aren't hurting anybody, then it's not a crime in my opinion. If I smoke weed and go retarded, that's my problem, not yours. It's my fault, not yours. It's not the government's initiative to step into my life and to tell me that I'm doing something wrong, throw me in a cage for decades under a lot of circumstances, and punish me for it. Now, as we all know, of course, the war on drugs targeted the community of African Americans and liberal hippies because Nixon's administration came out and openly said so. One of Nixon's top aides came out and said so in the 90s. He's like, yeah, we just wanted to criminalize what they did because you can't make it illegal for them to vote. So we'll just villainize them on the news every night. And we already know that the disproportionate amount of people arrested for these crimes are African American or Latino or minority. And whites get arrested about 1/3 of the time, one fourth of the time for drug-related offenses compared to the rest of the ethnicities in America. So this is removing the criminal records upon review or resentence people who had. So if you had a felony, you could possibly have gotten like 5 pounds of marijuana, let's say, and you got busted, you got thrown in jail for life because you hit the 3 strikes rule under, what was it? It was either Nixon or Reagan who did the 3 strikes. I can't remember. But, so yeah, you go to jail for the rest of your life. Well, maybe now you can say, that shouldn't be the case. Can we drop this thing down to a misdemeanor offense, or could it be a felony possession instead of intent to distribute, which could lighten the sentence? There's a lot of good things. I think personally, you should let them out if their crime only had to do with weed at all. But if you're selling it to somebody under the age of 18, it's a felony in California, and there's a few other ways. But just to show how far people have come on the issue, 64% of Americans are in favor of legalizing weed. That's 78% of Democrats, 51% of Republicans. That's the first time Republicans have ever voted in the majority to legalize marijuana. 75% of voters elected Prop 64 in San Francisco County. So that's 75% of people who are like, yeah, let the guys out. We don't think that they're a burden to society. We don't think that they're a threat to society. We don't think they're a menace to society. We think that they can be rehabilitated, brought back into society, and then contribute to society. Isn't that a beautiful thought? So the real number of the felony convictions was 4,885, and these will be looked over by San Francisco, and eventually we will see no more drug arrests and nobody else sitting in a San Francisco County jail or California State Prison for marijuana. And that's awesome.